So yeah, another combine. We're glad to be done with our meetings. It's always a fun time of the year to come down here and start our process. Start our process of getting all the questions answered that we've built up over the last 15 to 20 days. Being in a room with a bunch of dudes from 7 to 7. So yeah.
Is 2019 going to be the year that you guys get Rashad Penny going?
Did we get him going? He had his, Rashad, I would think he'd have a good year, yeah. I mean, he had a nice rookie year. Battled through some things that he's never been hurt before. So as a rookie, it was kind of hard for him to, figure things out. But I think he's on that path of getting ready to have a great season. Yeah, we don't have any reason to not think that.
A year ago at this time, you were here and kind of talking about the reset of the team and with a lot of the big moves that you made. How do you feel like looking back at from where you were this time a year ago to where you are now? You feel like that all thing?
Yeah, I mean every year. I mean you probably get tired of me saying this, but every year you have a reset. Every year you have to make some tough decisions. You have to try to figure out where you're going to be 2-3 years down the line, and this year isn't any different. We have some tough decisions coming up. Last year, obviously we did too, but I thought our coaching staff did a phenomenal job last year with, the younger guys that we played, getting back to the basics, teaching, competition. Yeah, I thought Pete and his staff did a phenomenal job.
Ron, the fans see the running and jumping on TV, but how important are these next 2 days, the interviews, the medical, how big is that?
It's huge. Yeah, I was just in a committee meeting this morning. We're talking about different issues, and being able to spend the time with these guys is so important. Sometimes it's just that 15-minute window. Sometimes it's being able to grab guys throughout the day or throughout the week. But this is our big opportunity to like I said, get some of those questions answered that we need to get answered, and we're one of those teams that you've heard me say this before. We don't think we have all the answers, so we're constantly trying to figure out who the person is and what the makeup is, and this is just one of those opportunities. Obviously, the workouts are a big deal, but we can sit and study those, and sit and study all the interviews as well.
Along those lines of getting to know the guy, when you have scouts on the field doing drills, leading position groups, how valuable is that time they get with them to kind of be around them?
Oh, very valuable. We've done it, for a number of years, trying to get guys in with different groups, and it's awesome. They get to experience, is the guy late? Does he have to go wake him up? Is he on time? Is he complaining, or does he have a great attitude? So yeah, it's a big deal.
Having a handful of picks right
now. It's just a challenge, right? I mean, we try to fix our team all throughout the year. This isn't like the draft is the only thing the only avenue that we build our team. We're constantly working in the waiver wire, practice squads, all the way through trade deadline. So, not having, our second-round pick this year with Dwayne, that's a challenge for us. You get a 6th-round pick for Hundley, and then Shalom with our 7th. So, it's a challenge, but I mean, it's exciting. It's what we do. Our guys do a great job on draft day of, working their relationships around the league, and then we're trying to navigate where we're going throughout the draft and targeting players and moving around. We don't necessarily have to go down all the time, but it's kind of fun.
What sort of coach are the Lions getting in Darrell Bevel?
In Darrell, they're getting a really smart, steady, even-keeled, strong, knowledgeable, strong-minded, knowledgeable offensive guy. Yeah, he's. I was with him in Green Bay and Seattle. They're getting a really good coach. And he's just very even-keeled throughout the week. There's not like highs and lows with him at all.
What sort of effect do you think you'll have on Matthew Stafford?
It's hard for me to say. I don't know Matthew Stafford very well, so he wouldn't know me if we walked in this room. So I can't answer that.
Can you address this group of defensive free agents and especially the pass? It seems like some edge rushers, and how important it is to find those guys.
Yeah, in free agency or the draft or
both.
Oh, both. Yeah, I was going to say you never You know, it's kind of like we have a saying about corners. Really, you can never have enough corners and wide receivers, guys that can run, right? So, same thing with pass rushers, defensive linemen. You see so many teams being able to rotate guys through, play 8 people, maybe 9. It's incredibly important. Just so happens that there's usually more defensive linemen, than there are offensive linemen. So it's very important to get those guys kind of rotating through, but they're actually easier to find than the offensive linemen right now.
John, I know that you're probably aware that Heath Farwell got the special teams job in Buffalo. I know you and Pete kind of gave him one of his first opportunities in coaching. What did you see in him that, in your guys' mind, made him coaching material?
Well, I can't say overachiever because he'd be probably upset with me. But no, he was a really, really good special teams player, really knowledgeable. He was one of those guys that, you know, even on like a punt team, had a real had that like that spatial feel. Was very aware of what was going on. So obviously he studied a ton, and was a real instinctive player. And then he was also a leader. You know, he was a captain of our special teams. A couple years, I believe, and then once he made that transition to coaching, it was just seamless, right? So, you know, he has that natural respect of the players because he's played.
What are the chances you really have only 4 picks by draft time?
That we have 4 picks? I hope it's slim. Yeah.
Tracking data available to you guys now.
Yeah.
You kind of figured out how to incorporate all of that.
We're still working our way through it. You know, we Patrick Ward and Brian Ayers do a great job with us. They basically, they're with us throughout our meetings, and they'll basically challenge us on you know, some critical factors that they're using, and based on what we're seeing, how we see the player, and then they'll hit us with you know, their thoughts on the players.
You mentioned Pete getting the young guys going. Just how important have the last 2 draft classes been in terms of what they've?
They all are. The last 2 classes have been, you know, we had that unfortunate situation with Malik 2 years ago, but these last 2 classes they've done a nice job. And, you know, we have to get to that point where we're bringing in players that are willing to take somebody's job, as ugly as that sounds, but they have that level of confidence to them. And, you know, I think that some of the mistakes I've made along the way are, you know, maybe not bringing in some guys that, you know, we're ready to take. And I'm just saying, for instance, you know, like they're looking at Cam Chancellor like, holy smokes, that's Cam Chancellor. It's Earl Thomas. It's Richard Sherman. You know, like how am I gonna make this team? Hey, Doug.
Less of that now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's just a confidence that comes with being able to get on the field and play, right? Getting your reps, getting out there, and yeah, building your confidence.
Sam with Frank Clark and his future.
Frank and I, we have a great relationship. There's a communication's been great. There's a strong level of trust between the 2 of us. So that would be the update.
Expect him to be a Seahawk?
Yeah.
Expect to use your franchise tag?
I don't know that yet. I mean, it's been 10 years. You know, Linda Mare, I mean, you know, we actually talked John Lynch into doing that with their kicker. So.
Do you need to do it with Russell? I know he's got a year left and everything, but do you need to do anything at this stage to start the process with him at all, or when do you feel like that has to start?
Yeah, I mean, we've been in communication with his agent Mark, and I'm sure we'll continue to talk. You know, there's just, you know, there's some guys that are unrestricted free agents right now, you know, so we try to work through that process with the different phases of it. So there's several guys that, you know, have 1 year left on their contract. In terms of extensions, obviously he's incredibly important.
As it relates to adding through free agency, how has the attracting or the recruiting process evolved over time with a new generation of athlete where not only do you need to sell them on, hey, dollars and cents, but also who you are as a team, the city, etc.?
You know, I don't, maybe a little old school now, but I don't think it's changed a ton. I think, you know, our stadium being as loud as it is, the fan base, the 12s are incredible. You know, ownership's been unreal. You know, we lost Paul. We all miss Paul a ton. We've been working with Jody now, his sister, and she's been amazing. So it's just we feel like we look at it like we're in an elite place, and we're one of those teams that wants to be a consistent championship caliber team all the time. So if you want to win and you want to, we just think we're an attractive place. Coach Carroll, if you want to be taught how to play, this is the place to be.
Get the sense that Russell is committed to being in Seattle long term?
I do, yeah. I don't have any other reason to believe that other than like website rumors and stuff like that. So.
Cowboys will look to reach an extension with Dak Prescott this offseason.
Yeah.
Based on what you've seen with Russell and how you built the team around him, what advice would you give them, and what have you learned in them?
I don't think I have to give them any advice. They're doing pretty good. That's a tough question for me to answer. I mean, it's all about communication and respect, really, when you're doing deals like that.
Communication with Earl Thomas.
The height? Well, he's got to be taller than me. That's one. No, they have to have the feet, the eyes. They have to delivery quickness. They have to be able to locate their secondary receivers real quick, and then be able to find their passing lanes, be able to move in the pocket and find passing lanes, and kind of just be able to create for themselves. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want. We were just watching a tape this morning of quarterbacks getting hit, and so yeah, obviously you want guys that are athletic enough and have the timing to know when to sit down and get down and slide and protect themselves. Yeah, yep. Former baseball player, right? So he knows how to slide and all that, and he was sturdy, and Russell. He's incredibly unique. He had a ton of compensating factors for his lack of height.
John, when you're looking at defensive line, this kind of relates to Puna last year, where he was kind of in a weird position in Texas at times. When you look at maybe a guy's not in the ideal position, but you see those traits, how do you best project the player to what you guys are doing as opposed to what he was doing in college?
Yeah, it's really getting you said it. It's projecting, right? So it's figuring out like whether or not he has those compensating factors. With Puna, it's his length. So he's got a natural leverage about him. He's got a heaviness about him. I say that with his hands. No, but he can get up and down line of scrimmage. So, and he went to the Senior Bowl and had a great week down there. So, it's just really about projecting.
So when you evaluate college wide receivers, most all of them are going to have to answer for some drops at some point. Like Larry Fitzgerald or something. So at what point for you does drops, no matter what their production is, does drops just become a factor where you have to start dropping them? Where you have to drop them down your draft?
Yeah, I remember Larry having a lot of drops. Okay. Oh yeah. It's first and foremost. If you can't catch, you're not out there. Really, that's. And then obviously you have to figure out when you're gonna. You have to get buy-in from the coaching staff as to whether or not you think you can help the guy out with his hand placement.
John, have you had any communication with Earl Thomas lately at all? Or?
No.
Are you disappointed maybe how that relationship kind of ended between him and you guys?
No, I understood his frustration. It's business, He's going to be, he's a free agent. He's going to test free agency, and we'll see what happens. We have a good relationship with his agents and stuff, and he's going to be one of those dudes that's up on the Hall of Fame or Wall of Fame, Ring of Honor. Sorry.
Hey, you guys signed Sam Ficken as well. Where does the kicking thing stand? Is there any chance Janikowski's back?
Yeah, we've talked to Sebastian's guys. Sam had a great workout with us, so we wanted to get him in there as quickly as we could, and have that stable guy. And we'll continue to look for somebody to compete with him.
Quarterback who has pretty public outside interests other than football. What advice would
Pretty
you have?
public what?
Like outside interests. He
Yeah.
just played baseball.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to the team that's going to draft Kyler Murray, who is going to maybe have the same outside interest?
Well, I think it's a positive because especially knowing Russell, like his mind never stops. I think he calls it no time to sleep or something like that, right? So his mind he's into, flying helicopters. He's into, learning different languages. I mean, he's just, he's amazing.
That that's so varied in what he's interested in.
What would you tell? You just say congratulations, I guess. I mean, he's worked out great.
Are the talks with Russell's extension maybe different this time around? He's more of a established player.
Yeah.
You like him flying helicopters everywhere?
No, I don't. I saw him flying helicopters. Somebody showed me a video, and I was like, that's great.
Last question. KJ and the possibility of him coming back.
Yeah, all these guys, we sit down with all of our unrestricted guys, talk to them, we have a personal talk before they get to free agency, so they know what's shaking. We'll meet with all of our guys down here, all the representatives, right? So by the end of the week, we'll have a better feel for what his market, where his market lies. He's been incredible for us. He had a rough year, excuse me, with a knee injury, but when he played, he was phenomenal. So, yeah, we love him.
Thank you.
Cool.